Hi, everyone. I'm Ashley Halick, founder of Soy Kitty, and I'm so glad you're tuning in. Today, we're diving into the world of cat behavior with Francis Valentine, the lead behaviorist at Sylvester AI. With over 25 years of experience studying animal behavior, from cows to cats, Francis brings a unique science backed perspective to understanding what our cats are really trying to tell us. We talk about why cats are so good at hiding pain, what common behaviors might actually be cries for help, and how Sylvester AI is using innovative tech to help cat guardians detect discomfort before it becomes a bigger problem. Spoiler, it's as easy as snapping a photo. So, if you've ever wondered if your cat is in pain, why they suddenly start to hide, or how to build a stronger, more connected relationship with them, this episode is for you. Let's get into it. Hi, I am Ashley, the founder of Soy Kitty, and I am joined today by Francis Valentine, the lead behaviorist at Sylvester AI. Francis, welcome. Thank you for joining
Hi.
me today.
Thank you. Yes, as you said, the lead animal behaviorist at Sylvester AI. I've been studying animal behavior and animal welfare for the last 25 years. Everything from wild animals, zoo animals, farm animals, and companion animals, you name it. I've studied it, but cats hold a special place in my heart, and I've done a lot of work with them over the last 25 years in different capacities at different animal shelters. And I'm excited to talk to you today about cats.
Yeah, me too. It's my favorite topic.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for that quick introduction. Now that we know where you're at now, tell us how you got to where you are.
Mm,
What were you doing before this, and what kind
yeah.
of led you down this path?
Yeah, I've always loved animal behavior. It's been my passion for the longest time. But my path has been varied. I started off as an animal welfare scientist, studying cows, dairy cows in Canada. Firstly, looking at the maternal bond between dairy cows and calves. And then I started to move into looking at innovative techniques to watch dairy cows move because a lot of them have lameness. So I did that for a long time, did my PhD in this, and then I transitioned into the business sector and worked at Whole Foods Market, which is a grocery chain here in North America, worked on their farm animal welfare program and launched their set of standards. And then I moved into nonprofit work as well for a farm animal welfare certification program, impacting about 400 million farm animals annually. I then moved on to become a consultant. And that's when I met Sylvester AI, and have been working, help them solve some issues on the behavior side of things. Yeah.
And tell us why cats? Was there a first cat that kind of was the catalyst behind this?
Yes. Oh gosh, a long time ago, I met a cat called Rocky. It was like a black and white tuxedo in the city shelter, who was terrified. He was 10 years old and had been given up because the owners had allergies, and he quickly went on the euthanasia list at the shelter just because of his behavior. Um, the rescue organization I work with was looking for a foster home, and I had previously fostered a lot of younger cats, so I wasn't quite sure, a senior cat, how that was going to play out. But oh my gosh, he was the best cat ever. I took him along to all these adoption events. Everyone passed by him. He went up by unnoticed, but he was the best cat, and I ended up adopting him, and he opened my eyes to like the love that senior cats give us. So yeah, that's
Sure.
how it started.
And was he kind of the catalyst to start learning to become a cat behaviorist and to get that training and certification?
Yeah, I mean, I was doing some work with this rescue organization already. So I was doing sort of evaluations of behavior and medical medical evaluations to help with the rescue and foster placement. He was one of those early cats. I've done that for about 15 years now and met thousands of cats during that process. So yeah, he was one of the early guys.
Oh. So you've met, I mean, you've been a foster, you've worked with shelter cats, you've worked with
Yeah.
feral cats, you've worked with
Yeah.
senior cats, you've worked with a bunch of cats, right?
Yes.
So what misconceptions did you have about cat behavior early
Mm.
on, and how did those evolve over time?
Yeah. Probably, I wouldn't say maybe a misconception, but just sort of an oversight, really, in terms of how trainable cats are.
Mm,
I'd used positive reinforcement training with dogs, fish, even my cows in in my early research. Like, yeah, I've used it a lot, and I never really thought about it with cats until my recently adopted cat, Keats. We adopted him, and he had diabetes at the time, and so I knew that he was going to have probably quite a few trips to the vet.
mhm,
So I was like, how can I make that stress free? Or as stressless as possible. And so I started training him to his cat carrier. And yeah, from there, it sort of opened my eyes more. I just never really thought about it, but yeah, it's, it's
Okay, you have to talk more about how you trained him for getting into the
oh,
crate. Yeah,
yes.
you
Well,
have
so he's very food motivated. So you have to know your cat. You have to figure out what makes them tick. But it started off with sort of very simply placing a little bit of a treat in the carrier, and gradually doing that repeatedly. He would get in the carrier and he'd eat inside the carrier.
Mm,
My carrier has a zipper on the top, so then I placed the top on, gave him a treat, zipped it up so he heard the sound. So it was a sort of, you broke the training down into bite-sized pieces, so nothing surprised him.
sure.
And now I find him curled up in the carrier most of the time. So he likes it. It's very easy to get him in, and I really encourage people to give this a go. It only took 3 or 4 days of about 10 minutes a day training, and he was transformed. So
Wow.
it's good.
So
Yeah,
it's making them feel comfortable with new stimuli, right?
yeah, yeah. Because cats don't like to be rushed, and I think we are often in a rush. You see that with, you know, I know my son will see a cat if we're walking down the street, he wants to go run over and pet it, or we want to race to go and put the cat in the cat carrier. Everything's a rush, and they don't typically respond very well to that. So if you can go slow, that's huge for them. Just being
Sure,
aware of how they tick is really important.
sure.
Yeah.
Going at their pace instead of ours.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of leads me down to the next set of questions, which is more into like understanding the cat and the challenges that us cat parents face
Mhm.
on a daily basis,
Mhm.
and trying to better understand our cats so we can live more cohesively together, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So you talked about this a little bit, slowing down the pace.
Yeah.
But what are other subtle shifts that we as cat parents can make in our home to help the cat feel more emotionally safe?
Yeah. I think you've got to look at what the nature of the cat. So, we can cover the basics. We can give food and water and, a shelter, right? But you've got to know that the inherent nature of the cat, they're predators. They're also prey, and we can talk about that later, but they're ambush predators. So they like to watch and sort of stalk you a little bit, but what I find very valuable is having, I call them like lookout nooks. I think other people would refer to perches, and kind of like a safe little getaway area. But essentially, that's providing them the ability to observe from a hidden spot. So behind me, I've got a little perch here, which has sides to it, which gives Keats the ability to look out the window, but feel like he's stalking those birds that he can't get at. We're in a two-story building here, and so he can see the birds flying, and they perch right outside. There's a tree right there. So I think giving them that lookout nook is great. And if you've got, an elderly cat who maybe isn't as agile to jumping up on a perch or the cat tree, you could simplify that down to one of their cozy beds, and buy a patio door or something like that. So I think they're ambush predators, so they like that feeling of watching, and I think that that gives them that security.
Sure. And is there anything we as cat parents can do besides providing, perches or cat trees or higher elevated areas in our home? Is there anything we as cat parents can do ourselves,
Mm.
energetically, self work, things like that, that can make the energetic environment of the home better, safer, or calmer for the cat?
I think there's a couple of things we can look to interacting with our cats a lot more. I know that there's a lot of people think that cats are really independent, but they really do want to spend time with you. And so I think that is really important. And figuring out what they like to do. So whether that's tearing around, following, chasing a feather toy, or if they're more wanting sort of that social interaction and that petting and sitting beside you or on top of you or whatever that is. So I think taking time to do that. Yes, they're not a dog. They don't need to go for daily walks necessarily, but they need to interact with you. So I think that is really, really important, and it builds a really loving bond between you and the cat. So your cat. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important, right? To understand our cat. The cats are
Mhm.
not all the same. They're not aloof. Some are crazy, some are most are sensitive. But
Yes.
so how can we as cat parents better understand our cats? Understand their
I think
behavior, the way they communicate. How can we better understand them?
yeah. I mean, I think there's a couple of. I think there's some things that some people are really good at, and then others maybe just aren't as attuned to, but looking for signs of change in their behavior. They're trying to communicate with you. Um, so, for example, have they skipped a meal? Have they stopped sleeping with you? Are they hiding more? Um, those are usually indicators that something's not quite right, whether that's something medically or perhaps they're experiencing some emotion, like they're either bored or frustrated or depressed, for instance. So I think there's a number of different things that we as cat parents can look out for. So those sort of changes in their routine, and each cat is going to be different, like you said.
Sure.
But when they do something different, that's usually a sign that something is a little off. Um,
Sure.
and to think about it, just being aware is huge, and that's something that you can communicate with your vet and explore some more. Another thing, as at Sylvester, is we're looking to help you understand cat comfort and happiness. Our technology takes a photograph of your cat and it will scan for signs of what we call happy or unhappy. And the unhappy side, it's more of the cat is, in discomfort, could possibly be in pain. There's something going on with that cat, and we would recommend that you follow up and explore what's going on with that with your medical team. But it's difficult to understand what's going on with your cats. It's not easy. Even veterinarians and behaviorists have a hard time because they're very stoic creatures.
Yeah.
And going back to that the nature of a cat, they are predators, yes, but um, they're also prey. So in the wild, there are bigger predators that so for them, they don't want to be showing signs of weakness, signs of pain or discomfort. They want to be um, uh, keeping that close to their chest, so to speak. And so it is difficult, but we've got some tools, and Sylvester's one, but also using your observations and your intuition is another. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, another thing that I really started doing recently, because
Mm.
I have 5 cats, and it's hard
Mhm.
to keep it all in my brain,
Yeah.
is I've started journaling their changes. Just put a
Hmm.
quick date and something different that I've noticed, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
when you do go to the vet for the next checkup, or if something is wrong, you have this list of, okay, these are the changes that I've seen, and you're providing more information to the vet, which will help them further
Yes.
diagnose or help evaluate what's going on.
Yeah. And yeah, absolutely. I'm a big advocate of writing writing things down because I'll, if on the spot, if somebody asks me, well, when did that start happening? I'll be like, oh, and you may underestimate or overestimate, but it
Yeah.
is a really good way of doing that. And that's something also um, that we have on the app is we have this scan history, and I think that's really beneficial, not only for you, but your vet team. So you can look back over time, these pictures of your cat, and you can see, it might be subtle changes, but changes nonetheless, and they can look to see what might be going on. And you can have a baseline of your cat in the happy state, and then perhaps you get a picture of them in an unhappy, and you can explore what's going on there. So I think definitely either taking it down in a journal or using technology like we've got is a definite improvement in just then keeping it up here.
Of
Yeah,
course. And
yeah,
it helps the vet further, it gives them
yeah,
more information,
yeah,
right? And
absolutely.
I don't know about you, but there's so much going on in my brain, I can't remember it all.
Exactly.
So you touched on a little bit that cats are prey,
Mhm.
and they are notorious for hiding pain or signs
Mhm.
of pain.
Yeah.
Can you give us cat parents a few symptoms or signs, like subtle
Mhm.
signs that a cat
Mhm.
is in pain or distress?
Yeah. So again, it's difficult to spot. So with acute pain, which is resulting from something that's going on in at that point in time, we're not talking about chronic pain at this point, although we're getting there. Cats, there's been a lot of research looking at the face and
Mhm.
what's going on with the face. So they will often lower their ears, their eyes may get narrower,
Mm,
their whiskers sometimes change position, and their muzzle, their mouth area becomes quite tense. You may
mm,
also see the head lower. So these are all behaviors that sort of are seen in the facial area, but there's also sort of postural. There might be hunching or crouching that goes on too. So that's sort of some basic behaviors that you might see. But, like I sort of mentioned earlier, also think about, are they hiding under the bed? Did they, were they normally bold and outgoing and, chirpy, and now they're suddenly hiding under the bed? Those sorts of behaviors where they're retreating and withdrawing can also help you understand what's going on.
sure.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. And especially since cats are notorious for hiding their pain, I think
Hmm.
it's amazing to have a tool like Sylvester AI
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
you can literally just snap a photo
Yeah.
and you don't have to guess.
Yeah.
You literally have technology that's helping you determine,
Yeah.
is could my cat be in pain? That's
Yeah, yeah.
incredible.
It's really useful, because it's hard to spot, and the technology is based on sort of vet validated assessments. It's not it's a computer vision model, so it's AI, but it's not your chat GPT or generative AI. It's been trained on vet validated assessments. We've scanned already 350,000 images. I like it because it's taking a proactive approach rather than kind of a reactive approach too. So it's a game changer when it comes to sort of your cat's health, I think, in my opinion.
And it's
Yeah.
an amazing tool for vets, right?
Yes, yes. So they can use that, and I want to reassure you, it's not the goal of our technology is not to replace vets. The
Right.
goal is to provide a tool for you as a caregiver to your cat and the vet team to say, hey, this cat is looking uncomfortable. There's something going on. Let's explore what's happening. So um, it's designed as a fine-tuned tool in your toolbox along with your own observations, to talk with your vet a bit about what's going on.
Sure. So it would be a great tool in the holistic cat care arsenal, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think it fits really nicely into that whole cat approach. The big thing for me is it's stress-free. You don't have to even touch the cat. So
Mhm.
you can take your photo and it will, in 1 or 2 seconds, it will analyze it and give you an instant a reading, happy or unhappy.
Mm.
And then you can decide what you want to go do from there. So it can be taken in the home, it can be taken in the clinic, but often it's nice to show your vet what your cat's doing in the home, because in the clinic setting, as much as they are making it as stress free as possible, it is stressful for the cat. So it sort of gives that um, ability to have that hands off approach, and let the cat be the cat, um, and tell you what it's feeling in that moment. Yeah.
Sure. No, that's incredible. Yeah, I think it would be a great tool, um, like you said, to keep stress as low as possible,
Hmm.
but still have data to go off of,
Hmm.
right? I think
Yeah.
that's the magical combination.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
And so that's where Sylvester AI is at right now. Where do you see it going in the future? What is your goal or what is the dream?
Right now, I'm working with the team to build the data set. So we've been filming a lot of cats with a whole bunch of different medical conditions, um, to identify maybe some specific disease states,
Ooh,
that may be showing particular behavior patterns, because I'd mentioned the 5 sort of areas of the face that show pain, but there are certain combinations. It's not always the ears, or it's not always the head posture, and maybe there's certain combinations that indicate certain elements over others. So yeah, so I'm excited to explore some of that. We've also sort of we've started to look into chronic pain as well, because that's obviously a big one. So there's a lot, working on the refinement as well, and fine tuning it. Yeah.
okay. I'm assuming one of the top diseases or illnesses is CKD or kidney issues. Am I correct
Mm.
in assuming
Mhm,
that?
mhm, mhm. Well, I mean, yeah, what's one of the chronic pain diseases. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Sure. I'm
yeah.
assuming it'll be one of the top areas that you'll be working on.
I hope so. Have you got some CKD devotees?
Yes, yes, please.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I mentioned, my first cat, Rocky, he had CKD, so that's dear to my heart for sure. And now Keats has got diabetes. I've had a cat with gastrointestinal. So yes, I'm ready to tackle it all. But yeah, I hear you.
Yep.
It's tough, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And it sounds ridiculous. I'm writing basically everything that I'm learning along my journey since I
Mhm.
started holistic cat care. And it sounds like my cats are chronically sick, like always sick. But I'm like, no, I have 5 cats. I
Yeah.
have 2 that are 12 years old. They're all from
Yes.
the street. Like
Yes.
it's over a 12-year period and 5 cats. I swear they're not
Yeah.
all chronically ill all the time.
Yeah. I mean, once my sense is like looking at some of the studies, it's like after sort of you hit the 7-year mark, there's a lot that starts to kind of come up. So sort of the mature cats, who I love the most, yeah, start. You'll need to pay more attention, I think, particularly to those older cats. Yeah, for sure. So.
Or cats that I mean, all of mine are from the street, right? Shelter
Mm,
cats,
mhm.
feral
Yeah,
cats, street
yeah.
cats. You don't know their history.
No, not at all. No, it's I just found out how old my cat really is. The city shelter thought he was 2, and I was like, I'm not sure about that. Um, and I in contact with the microchip company, and they're like, oh no, I think he's 8, and I'm like, that makes more sense. But like when I gather little bits of information like that, I'm like, it's so excited. Putting it all together, it's like a puzzle.
For sure. No, that's a huge difference between a 2-year-old that's
Oh yeah,
basically a
yeah,
kitten. Like, let's be
yeah,
real. They still have
yeah.
kitten energy, and
Right,
an
right, right.
8-year-old, little different.
Yeah, yeah. I think they were hopeful, being optimistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked about using Sylvester AI as a way to pinpoint possible pain in cats. Is there a way to use Sylvester AI to pinpoint some not so common bad behaviors in cats and to figure out maybe what's going on?
The emotional state of the cat is an interesting one. And so, right now our focus is on pain and discomfort. So there may be some other behaviors or emotional states that the cat might be experiencing as well that we can start to explore. But I think understanding the context of a bad behavior is useful. So let's just say we take the case of a cat biting you.
Mhm.
Now, perhaps understand that context. Like, is it at the end of the day and the cat's giving you little nips and it's like, hey, hey, perhaps it's been really bored during the day and it just needs some playtime. Let's increase play and let's explore that. But maybe you've just given your cat a pill and you've touched a tooth that's really sore.
Mm.
Take a picture on the Sylvester app and let's see if something actually is going on. You don't know. You don't know if you've got a painful tooth without like cranking the mouth open, but perhaps that might actually help you to understand what might be going on and let's go have a conversation with the vet. So I think there are ways where some of this behavior, like I know lots of people would say that's bad behavior, but this is a signal that the cat is giving you.
Okay.
And you can use our app to understand or maybe even rule out some things in order to focus on, say, increased play. Oh, it's not pain. Let's increase our play. So I think it's useful in a number of different ways.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think being able to understand cat behavior as a cat owner is one of the most important things.
Hmm.
And along that same line, let me ask you this.
Mm.
Was there something about cat behavior that you never expected to learn, but now that you know it, you can't unsee it?
Um, if you talk to any behaviorist, they go, anytime you start studying a particular pattern of behavior, you see it everywhere. So when I studied cows and I looked at thousands of images of cows, now every time I see a cow walking by a field or I'm driving by, I am assessing how that cow is walking. And now it's become the same with cats and their faces. I used to love just looking at them and petting them or whatnot. But now, because I'm looking specifically at expressions of discomfort and pain,
Mhm.
I'm looking to see, is this cat comfortable and happy, or is it feeling something not so pleasant? So yeah, I'll look at their ears, their eyes, and I'm constantly thinking about that. So yeah, I can't unsee their faces now
Sure, you're
in that
constantly on
context.
call.
Yes, exactly.
Well, we are getting close to time, so I wanted to
Mhm.
do I always do like a quick fire round of questions.
Yeah.
So these are just short and sweet, the first thing that comes to your mind. Um, and hopefully it'll be a lot of really good information for us cat parents, me in
Okay.
particular. Um, so the first question that I have for you is, what is one thing cat parents should stop doing today?
Mm. Ashley, can I change that?
Yeah, 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 for sure.
It's start doing. Let's
Start doing?
start
Okay.
training your cat to a cat carrier. That is like huge for me. And I think it'll make a huge difference for the entire life of your cat if you can just uh, spend a little bit of time and over a course of a few days and train your cat to a cat carrier.
Sure. No, that's great advice. Second question. What is your favorite enrichment tip that costs nothing?
I'm going to say there's several that go through my brain, but I'm going to say a large paper bag, one of those grocery bags,
Mhm.
because I think it fulfills a number of different enrichments. So cats like to jump on it. They like the crinkly sound. They like to go inside it so they can hide and do that whole ambush predator thing. And they like to pounce on it too. I think it's just it's fun and it's free. And the one thing about enrichments is um, don't leave them out. Like let them play with it for a little bit, but take them away because they lose their novelty. So make sure you switch it up.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good way to keep a rotation of toys on hand, right?
Yes.
Instead of throwing them
Yes.
out, just keep
Yep.
rotating them.
Exactly. I have a little box where I put them all in and I bring a different one out every day.
Oh, that's smart. I love
Yeah.
that. Um, so I asked this question to Julianne Hart in my last interview. So I'm going to ask it of you too. And
Okay.
if you don't want to answer it, it's fine. But it was interesting to hear hers, so I'm gonna ask you. What's one piece of mainstream cat advice that
Mm.
you completely disagree with?
Um, for me, it's I know a lot of people are still using spray bottles for punishment of bad behavior. And I think we need to turn it on its head and you need to understand why that cat is doing that behavior.
Mhm.
Um, Now, sometimes you might want to distract them from that. Uh, and other times you might want to elevate it in a different part of the house. I'm thinking like if they are jumping on your kitchen counter and you don't want that, um, find a spot where you're okay with them being up high and encourage it there. So yeah, that would be how I would answer that one.
That's a good one. Yeah, the spray bottle thing, when I see cat parents still doing that,
Yeah,
please
yeah,
stop.
I
You're
know.
just causing them stress and confusion. You're
And you're
breaking that
breaking
bond.
exactly, you're breaking that bond, yeah.
Cat parents, don't use spray bottles, please.
Please.
Positive reinforcement works better for cats.
Yes, yes, for sure.
Okay. Next question. What's one non-negotiable in your daily cat care routine?
Oh, cleaning the litter box. You gotta do it every day, every day, every day. At least once.
Yeah.
At least once.
With
It's
multiple cats, please, twice a day, please.
yeah,
It's better for their health, it's better for
yeah,
your health,
yeah.
and it just smells better.
Yeah, it does. Like I mean, there's been work done on it. Like if even if they see it or they feel a clump, it doesn't matter if it's their own or another cat's. They don't like it, so
No.
it's easier just to clean it.
I mean, who loves going into a porta potty? Let's be real. It's a similar thing, right? That's an amazing, yeah,
Yeah,
piece of information.
yeah, yeah.
Mandatory, clean the litter box
Do
every
it. Just do it.
Okay, last question,
Mhm.
before we wrap up. If you had a magic wand to change one thing about how society treats cats, what would it be?
I
Or thinks about cats?
I think they're not small dogs, is what springs to mind. Because I think, there's this, I see it a lot where people are excited to see an animal, they want to go over and they have a lot of energy and they start trying to pet the cat like a small dog or a dog, and then they turn around and hiss, and then people get surprised and say, well, they're being mean, and it's not, they're signaling to you, they're saying, hey, just go slow, please. I'm not comfortable with this, and so yeah, I would love it if people recognize cats for being cats. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
Cats are not small dogs.
yeah,
It's
there you go.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Frances, this was amazing. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing your knowledge.
It's been a pleasure.
Um, but before we wrap up, I wanna pass the mic over to you.
Mhm.
Tell us about how we can learn more about Sylvester AI, how we can get in contact with you or follow you. Please let us know.
Yeah, yeah. So the best place to go is www.sylvester.ai. And you can learn a lot about what we are doing and what we're about. There's a technical paper on there for folks that are interested in understanding how we do what we do.
Mhm.
So that would be the best place to start. It's also the place where you would sign up to use the app. So you can sign up and you can get a free scan. So test it out, try it out on your cat, and let us know what you think. You can reach me at francis@sylvester.ai if you've got questions around what we've been talking about today. And then you can follow Sylvester on Instagram and Facebook and hear about veterinarians using the technology and what they have, and what they're seeing too. So, yeah, I'm excited for you all to try it out and let us know what you think.
Yeah, and I would assume the more photos people take, the better the technology gets, right? The more we understand
Yeah, it's
cat
constantly,
species as a
yeah,
whole.
exactly. It's refining, it's helping understand cats in a much better light. Like the more images and the more photos you take, the more we learn. Yeah.
Amazing. So go to sylvester.ai, get the app, download it, take a photo of your cat. You're helping not only your cat, you're helping your vet, and you're helping us better understand the
Yeah.
cat species.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yay. Francis, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your knowledge.
Thank you, Ashley. It's been a pleasure.
If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss a single video. Thanks for watching.